From Washington, I'm Christopher Cruz. Egyptians voted Saturday for the second and last time on a disputed Islamist-backed constitution. About 25 million Egyptians are permitted to mark ballots in this second round of voting. Election officials extended the voting until late in the evening, as they did in the first part of the referendum last Saturday, when Egyptians in other parts of the country voted. Unofficial results from that first round show the new constitution was approved by almost 57% of those who voted. Egyptian Vice President Mahmoud Mekki is leaving the government. He played an important part in national unity talks called for by President Morsi. In a statement Saturday, Mr. Mekki said he is resigning because he is a judge and not a politician. He first offered his resignation letter on November 7th, but delayed his departure because Egypt was trying to help negotiate an end to the war between Israel and Hamas. Russia's foreign minister says several countries are offering asylum to Syria's President Bashar al-Assad, but he said Russia has no such plans. Sergei Lavrov spoke to reporters on a plane Saturday after attending a meeting with the European Union in Belgium. He told them that several governments in the area have said they would permit Mr. Assad to live in their country. He said those countries believe it would help end the violence in Syria. Mr. Lavrov said he has told the leaders of those countries to talk directly to the Syrian leader. He suggested that Russia would not block an agreement for Mr. Assad to leave Syria. Some Middle East experts say this is the clearest sign yet that Russia could be preparing for a Syria without Mr. Assad as its leader. Pakistani officials say a suicide bomber killed 9 people Saturday at a gathering of members of a political party that opposes the Taliban. The bomber blew himself up at a meeting of the Awami National Party in the northwestern city of Peshawar. Among the dead were a top provincial minister and a high-level police officer. About 20 people were wounded. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack. It has targeted members of the Awami Party in the past. Also in Pakistan, the defense minister told VOA his country's political and military ties with the United States are improving after almost 2 years of disagreements. Naveed Kamar said there is more agreement now on how to fight terrorism in Pakistan's border areas and on how to improve relations with Afghanistan. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English from Washington. The leader of North Korea, Jong Un, is calling for the development of more powerful rockets after last week's successful launch of a rocket that could travel long distances. During a meeting with his rocket scientists, Mr. Kim told them they should develop and launch many different kinds of satellites and larger rockets. The United States, South Korea, Japan, and other governments condemned the launch. They said it was a test of a ballistic missile, and such tests are banned under United Nations rules. North Korea said the 3-stage rocket was only a satellite. In Kenya, police say 45 people were killed in the southeastern Tana River area in fighting between two tribes, the Pokomo and the Orma. The clashes began when a group of Pokomo, armed with long sticks and small guns, raided a village of the Orma people Friday morning. The Kenyan Red Cross says 13 children and 6 women were among the dead in the village. At least 45 houses were set on fire. Many people were arrested after the attacks. Police say they know where the rest of the raiders come from and are looking for them. The two groups have launched a series of deadly attacks against each other this year because of disputes over land and water. Italy's president dismissed Parliament Saturday. The action by Giorgia Napolitano means elections will likely be held in February. Prime Minister Mario Monti resigned Friday after Parliament approved his disputed budget. He will lead a temporary government until the elections. He is expected to announce Sunday whether he will lead a centrist coalition that could return him to office. Former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi withdrew his support for Mr. Monti before the budget vote and said he will be a candidate once again for Prime Minister. Mr. Berlusconi has already been Italy's Prime Minister 3 times. And finally at this hour, in New Delhi, India, protesters gathered for a second day to support a 23-year-old rape victim. They shouted, "We want justice," as police struggled to control the crowd with tear gas and water guns. The woman was attacked last Sunday after she and a male friend were given a ride on a private bus in New Delhi. New Delhi has one of the highest rates of rape in the country. Officials say a group of men raped her and beat both of the victims with an iron stick. Police say they have arrested all 6 men suspected of being responsible for the attack. Police are seeking sentences of life in prison for the suspects. India's Home Secretary R.K. Singh also announced public safety measures to prevent such violence.